and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church in Reston. My name is Mark Sheppard, a member of the governing board here, and I hope you will forgive the unintentional, I assure you, but aggressive counter-programming on St. Patrick's Day. Whether you are with us on Zoom or if you're here in the sanctuary with us today, we are so glad you chose to join us this morning. No matter how old or young you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, however you identify, and whomever you love, know that you are welcome here. Cynthia Young is on professional development leave, but she did plan the music for today's service. David Niemi is serving as hymn leader for us this morning. Thank you, David. This is a lay-led service this morning, and it is led today by Reston CUUPS. Reston CUUPS is a Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans chapter and a small group ministry here at UUCR that provides a safe spiritual home to support those who follow or are interested in an earth-based spiritual path. Reston CUUPS is a multi-generational welcoming community, and it is open to all. More information about Reston CUUPS will be shared in this week's email newsletter. We are also pleased to welcome a special guest musician, violinist Alexis Benard. Alexis, thank you very much for joining us and for providing beautiful music for today's service. At this time, I'd like to ask Nonnie Mullin to come to the pulpit to share a stewardship update.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I have good news. So far, we've received 59 pledges, and we are at 61% of our stewardship goal. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And to remind you, our stewardship goal is $385,000, and so far we have had. Fell asleep, right? Okay. $235,420 has been pledged so far, so we really appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance to pledge yet, or if you have any questions about pledging after the service today, Maggie and I will be in the boardroom. There are muffins. I'm just saying there are muffins. So if you want to come stop by and ask us any questions. All right, thank you.
I have a few announcements before we get started this morning, and actually I'm going to ask Linda Holloway to come up for the first one.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. I'm Linda Holloway, your tour guide, to invite you to join us at the annual auction Armchair Travelogue. We will take off next Saturday, March 23rd, late afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m., to visit pre-war Ukraine and Russia, Costa Rica, Switzerland, and Ethiopia. You pay only $10 for your ticket at the gate. We will have you home in time for dinner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. A couple more announcements. The 79 Plus group lunch is this Thursday, March 21st. Please bring your own lunch and join us for fellowship and conversation. There's further information on the website calendar, and you can contact Reverend Eileen for details. And then lastly this morning, please join Reverend Eileen for a deep dive into Article 2 in a 4-session workshop that will kick off on Tuesday, April 2nd at 7 p.m. All sessions will be held on Zoom only. This workshop is a repeat of the Article 2 workshop that was held in February. So if you participated in that one, you don't need to sign up again for this one. You can pick up a flyer in the foyer or see the email newsletter for further information. Space is quite limited, so we do recommend that you register as soon as you can. Now let us center ourselves for worship. Please join me in taking some deep, quieting breaths. Let's continue to center ourselves as we listen to this morning's prelude.
Good morning. Today's opening words are adapted from David Ensley. At this time of balance, at this time of awakening, we honor the spring equinox. We honor the fertile earth. We honor the warming breezes. We honor the waxing light. We honor the nurturing rains. Welcome spring, new life to bring, to land, to us, to all. Welcome spring, rebirth we sing, within and round us all.
Our opening hymn is number 63 in the Silver Hymnal. Spring has now unwrapped the flowers. Diane and our wonderful violinist are going to play it through once before we start. Please rise and body your spirit and join me after that.
Spring has now unwrapped the flowers, day is fast reviving, life in all her growing powers, for the light is striving. Gone the iron touch of cold, winter time and frost time, seedlings working through the mold, now make up for lost time. Herb and plant that winter long slumbered at their leisure, now be stirring green and strong, joined in growth their pleasure. All the world with beauty fills, gold the green enhancing, flower quickly among the hills, set the meadows dancing.
Hello. The chalice lighting words today are from the first stanza of a poem titled Take Care by Michael D. Higgins, who has served as the 9th President of Ireland since 2011. In the journey to the light, the dark moments should not threaten. Belief requires that you hold steady. Bend, if you will, with the wind. The tree is your teacher, roots at once more firm from experience and the soil made fragile.
At our church, we have a beloved covenant that we've had, that we've sung for nearly 10 years every Sunday. If you are new here, please take this song as a blessing to you. Otherwise, please join me in singing it while remaining seated.
Love is the spirit of this church, and this is its prayer. This is our great cause.
Now is the time for all ages, so if you're feeling young of body, I invite you to come forward if you'd like to see a little better. And wherever you are, welcome, welcome. Our story today is Our Rainy Day play from Aisha's Moonlit Walk by Anika Stafford. Aisha and Heather have written a play to perform for the spring equinox. They've rehearsed, built a stage in Heather's backyard, and found or made all the costumes and props. Alex agreed to narrate, and they invited their friends. They can't wait. But on the morning of the spring equinox, Aisha wakes up to rain.
What are we going to do now?
Mom says, maybe you can clear a space in Heather's living room and do the play inside.
But I don't want to do it inside after we built the stage and everything. What are we going to do?
Dad suggests you can invite everyone another day when it's sunny and do it then.
But we already invited them and practiced and got it ready for today, for the spring equinox. This is a season for rain. Why didn't we think it could rain on the day of our play?
Heather phones. My mom suggested doing the play inside or invite everyone another day.
Oh, my parents said the exact same thing your moms did. It's so freaky when they do that.
I don't like their ideas, but I have another idea, and it's perfect for the equinox. We have a great play, right?
Yeah.
But it's raining.
I know.
Isn't that perfect for equinox? Good things and bad things are in balance. You know what we should do?
What, like tell everyone to bring umbrellas and do it anyway?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Do you think our friends will watch a play in the rain? Aisha and Heather called everyone and asked them to bring umbrellas. They all showed up. They stood in their raincoats, waiting with their umbrellas, yelling, "Happy spring!" to one another. Heather and Aisha were dripping and bedraggled as they were about to go on stage. And Heather asked, "What if we slip and fall?"
Let's imagine roots growing from our feet into the ground, making us all sturdy, even in the rain.
Aisha and Heather took a few deep breaths, steadied themselves, and then walked to the middle of the stage and looked out to the audience.
Thank you for coming. It's the spring equinox. The day and night are equal right now.
Winter is over. Spring is really here.
This play is about getting ready for spring.
There was a young girl who lived in a small town. The town was like many other towns, except that it hadn't been spring there for as long as anyone could remember.
Even though they were wet, Heather and Aisha took turns playing all sorts of characters, pulling on different hats and holding soggy props. At one point, when Heather was sitting on the stage, she accidentally kicked some mud and it splatted on the ground near the audience. They tried not to laugh. It was a wet play, a soggy play, but they were really making it happen.
The people were finally able to welcome in the spring, and as they did it, it began to rain. A lovely, loud, luxurious spring rain wet their faces in the night.
Heather and Aisha got the giggles and couldn't stop their laughter anymore. "I didn't remember that the play ended that way," said Heather.
I didn't either. It's perfect.
Heather and Aisha stopped being their characters, and soon the whole audience was laughing and dancing with them in the lovely, loud, luxurious rain.
Happy spring.
we will continue celebrating the spring equinox here in the sanctuary and in religious education. If you're in 12th grade or younger, you can join us downstairs as we make bee houses with Ms. Laurie. And we'll sing you out with Go With Joy. And let's also give a hand to our actors.
I always have to do the cha-cha at the end of that. It begs for it. My name is Kara Fortner. I am going to give you a stewardship testimonial today. For those of you who don't know me, I've been a member here at this church for about 12 years. I came here first with a very pregnant belly with my very first child, looking for a spiritual home. And finding it within these walls here at Reston and within our open and free and active faith, which says you can believe however you want to believe as long as it brings you to a place of compassion, and that we can do things together to make life on earth better, better for ourselves, better for others, and better for our world. That is a faith that moved me so strongly that now I'm in seminary. Thank you. And I've been in seminary now this is in my 4th year. It has been a long slog. I am full-time. There is no small requirement by the UUA to get as much education and practice as possible while ministers are in formation for this tradition that we hold so dear. And it is tens of thousands of dollars later that I stand here with this education in my head, in my body, in my expression that I intend to bring forward into new congregations, just like this one, that says, pagans, come do your thing. Buddhists, do your thing. Religious natural humanists, do your thing. Christians, do your thing. It is so hard. It is so hard to live and into a faith that says, I believe differently than you. And that's beautiful. This faith is a faith that is worth funding so that we can have super educated ministers and wonderful programming with music. Our music director is in South Africa right now for development, and she's going to bring back what she has learned back to our choir, and I am so excited when she comes back. I'm sure there's going to be body percussion and just a wealth of information that we pour into our people here so that we can go out and be the lights that we hope to cultivate while we're here. So stewardship is not like, I think, anyone's favorite time of the year. It's like NPR when they do their campaign, and it's like, I just want to listen to, wait, don't tell me, like, just don't, I don't want to hear that you need money. But we do need money. Money makes the world go round. It's what funds the things that we do and makes it enriched and good. So if you and at a church where faith is what we cultivate, we are egalitarian, and not everyone can give generously, and not everyone can give it all. But those of us who can give and can give generously, we should, so that we can continue this work. And so that people who can't afford can still take part and enjoy and enrich themselves to be the light that we hope to be. So, write your pledge, hand it to Maggie, or to Nonnie. Go talk with them. I hear they have muffins. Oh, well, I'll be there. Thank you.
Now is the time in our service when we share our joys and concerns, so that no one ever has to hold them alone. If you're joining us remotely this morning, you may wish to light a real or virtual candle, or put some stones in some water, wherever you are, to mark what is on your heart, as those joining us in person in the sanctuary place stones in the water. If those of you at home today would like to share what is on your heart in the congregational chat, please remember to write to all attendees if you want everyone to see it, and note that what you share will be public. You may then read other joys and concerns shared in the chat and enter into your own time of reflection and prayer. And also, we are working on going back to a method where you all will be able to write your joys and concerns when you're here in person, and the worship leader will be able to read some of those, so you can start thinking about that. And we will begin this as we all listen to our musicians play Reverie. Let us be one in prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love that so faithfully animates our creation, we are grateful for this community that is with us in both times of joy and sorrow. We hold in our hearts this morning all who are facing hardship or difficulty, those who are grieving or facing illness or disability in themselves or friends or loved ones. In particular, this morning we hold in our hearts and prayers all of those facing war and other struggle and persecution. Whether shared this morning or held silently in our hearts, may our joys be multiplied in community, and may all gathered here find comfort and calm.
I regret to inform you that I do not have muffins. But I do have a few additional words about stewardship. As a self-funded church, UUCR relies on the generosity of its members and friends to fund daily operations and to ensure that the church and its resources are here for us and for others now and in the future. Pledges support our worship and music programs, our religious education program, programs for members and friends, community outreach, and connections to Unitarian Universalism. We now invite you to support the work of UU Reston by making your donation to the collection plate if you are here in the sanctuary, or at the link on the slide and in the chat box if you're with us on Zoom. Thank you for your generosity and support of our beloved spiritual home.
Well, that's hard to follow. Thank you to our musicians today. It's absolutely stunning. We are going to be here today with you. So first of all, you may not know who I am, as it's lovely for me to see all of you. My name is Cora Procyon, and I am a member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reston, and I'm a member of the Reston CUUPS group. CUUPS stands for the Covenant of the Unitarian Universalist Pagans, and we are glad to be part of the Reston UU Church. CUUPS is an organization dedicated to the networking of pagan-identified Unitarian Universalists, educating people about paganism, promoting interfaith dialogue, and developing pagan liturgies. Reston CUUPS holds regular rituals to celebrate the changing of the year here at the church, and all are welcome to attend. We have some flyers out in the foyers for our upcoming Lunasa banquet on 3 August, where we will celebrate the turning of the year with food, song, ritual, and storytelling. I really hope that you'll consider attending. I know that sometimes, though, it's hard to come to an event that you have never been to, or with a group that does things a little bit differently than what you are used to. Or perhaps you just wonder what a CUUPS event might be like. Today, we're going to follow the order of service as we have and often do here in the sanctuary, but we're going to put a little bit of a CUUPS spin on it today as we celebrate the spring equinox. We would like to share a small part of a particular pagan cosmology that you might see at many CUUPS celebrations, with a service dedicated to the elements and their role in helping us find balance. There are many different elemental structures worldwide in numerous cultures, and they are not all the same. Today, we, the member of Reston CUUPS, are going to introduce you to 4 elements that are often honored in neo-pagan rites and rituals in the United States: earth, air, fire, and water. We have representations today of all 4 elements standing around the sanctuary. Focus on balance is particularly apt this day, on the 17th of March, with the spring equinox right around the corner on Tuesday, 19 March. The spring equinox is a perfectly balanced day. 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. In the spring, it marks the beginning of the balance shifting towards more light in our days. And it is an excellent time to reflect on balance in our lives. When we have a CUUPS ritual here in the sanctuary, we start by introducing the holiday. Then we talk about what we're going to do during the ritual, and I would like to do a brief version of that today. So I invite you all to join us on this journey as we recognize different paths to balance in our lives as the spring equinox approaches. I hope you find the experience to be something that you can take into the coming spring with you. As we begin, I would like to invite all of you to feel grounded and centered in this place. To take a moment to release the cares of the world outside and focus on the work we are about to do here together. I would invite you, if you are seated, to sit back in your chair. Place your feet on the floor, to set down anything you have in your hands, and if you are so inclined, feel free to close your eyes and focus on your breathing. In this moment, I invite you to feel the firmness of the floor under your feet. This floor rests on a foundation that rests on the earth that surrounds us. This earth is slowly waking up as the warmth and longer days come to us. I would then invite you to turn your attention to your breathing. We're going to take 3 long breaths together. I invite you to take a long inhale through your nose, feeling your chest expand and the air fill your lungs, and then a slow exhale through your mouth. And again, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And one last time, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. If you had your eyes closed, I invite you to open them and join us here in the sanctuary as we begin our ritual today to honor the elements and look for balance with the coming of the equinox. I will now invite each of the elements to come forward to speak to you. The first element that I invite to speak with you is the element of earth.
Hello all, my name is Tanith Fowler-Corsi, and I am here as a representative of the element of earth. I hold in my hand a stone to represent the element of earth today that will be placed upon the altar. I invite you to contemplate with me the element of earth. Earth is the ground upon which we sit and the dirt in our gardens. It represents stability and a place to grow. It represents the physical self and how we connect with our material world. It is the deep wisdom that lives in our bones, a place of rest and recovery. Earth is a wonderful companion in which we find comfort and is part of our quest for balance. However, Earth cannot act alone. It needs the other elements to be complete. It's important to remember in our quest for balance. The element of earth can also become a place to hide, to take our anxieties and nestle down, to stay stagnant and not experience all that the world has to offer. So we need to look inside when we contemplate the element of earth. Are we ready to grow? Will we turn our faces towards the sun and see what is next in our lives? Or will we burrow down and hold in place, unmoving and unseeing? Earth is here to offer us a path to balance through its warmth, its comfort, and stability, but reminds us that the elements are all part of finding balance, and invites you to incorporate them all into your world as we honor the spring equinox today, on this Sunday.
Thank you, Tanith, for joining us in bringing the gifts of earth to us this day as we look to find balance in the spring equinox. Next, I would invite air to approach the podium and speak with us.
Hello, my name is Sabrina Woodleaf, thank you, and I'm here as a representative of the element of air. I hold in my hand a feather to represent the element of air today that will be placed upon the altar. I invite you to contemplate with me the element of air. Air and breath give us life, and the element of air is associated with the mind, knowledge, learning, creativity, and inspiration. When you think of the element of air, I invite you to imagine the breeze blowing through the trees outside this church, the power of the wind and the ability of that wind to blow out the old and in with the new. The element of air invites us to look for a fresh start and a new idea. When we feel stagnant or stuck, I invite you to let it envelope you and carry you to new things. Air is a wonderful companion in which we find new inspirations and is part of our quest for balance. However, air cannot act alone. It needs the other elements to be complete. It is important to remember this in our quest for balance. The element of air can also become a place of distraction, encouraging us to move from one idea to another in order to avoid discomfort or the risk of attachment and to move haphazardly. We need to look inside ourselves when we contemplate air. Are we ready to find the wind in our sails, helping us to move to our next great discovery? Or will we scatter like the leaves and not take on the next big quest? Air is here to offer us a path to balance through its inspiration and fresh ideas, but reminds us that all elements are part of finding the balance and invites you to incorporate them all into the world as we honor the spring equinox this Sunday.
Thank you, Sabrina, for joining us and bringing the gifts of air to us this day as we look to find balance in the spring equinox. Next, I would invite fire to approach the podium and speak with us.
Hello, my name is Carol Watson, and I'm here as a representative of the element of fire. I hold in my hand a candle to represent the element of fire today that will be placed on the altar. I invite you to contemplate with me the element of fire. Fire is an element of transformative force. It is heat and light and powerful change. It is often associated with the warmth of the sun that helps the living world to thrive. It is the fire that burns on our hearth, bringing us warmth. The element of fire helps to drive our personal ambitions and motivations. Internally, it is warmth that moves our blood and pushes us toward action in the world. It is the spirit of the activist who stands for what is right in the face of adversity, for those who strive to perfect their art and beyond. Fire is a wonderful companion in which we find warmth and motivation. However, fire cannot act alone. It needs the other elements to be complete. It is important to remember this in the quest for balance. The element of fire can also become a place of ego and conflict, encouraging us to seek gain for ourselves above all others and burning our way through the world rather than to be part of a community. We need to look inside ourselves when we contemplate fire. Are we ready to find the warmth and compassion in the burning light to motivate us forward? Or do we burn too hot and leave nothing but ashes in our path? Fire is here to offer us a path to balance through its transformative power, but reminds us that all of our elements are part of finding balance and invites you to incorporate them all into your world as we honor the spring equinox this Sunday.
Thank you, Carol, for joining us and bringing the gifts of fire to us this day as we look to find balance in the spring equinox. Next, I would invite water to approach the podium and speak with us.
Hello, my name is Diane Scott, and I am here today as a representative of the element of water. I hold in my hand a bowl of water to represent this element that today will be placed upon the altar. I invite you to contemplate with me the element of water. Water calls upon us to experience our emotions. It calls us to a practice of self-reflection and self-understanding. Our emotions move through us like water, flowing through our lives. These internal waters can be calm or they can be turbulent, but they are always moving. To experience the element of water is to experience our feelings, to name them, to find them, and to experience them, which at times can be frightening. Water cautions us against damming up our feelings because, just like water behind a dam, the pressure will build and water will find an outlet. Water offers us the opportunity to get in touch with our inner self and our emotions. It is a wonderful companion in which we find our inner self. However, water cannot act alone. It needs the other elements to be complete. It is important to remember this in our quest for balance. The element of water can also become a place of crashing waves that encourages us to value our feelings and our emotions over all others, and to crash into and wash away those who stand on our shores to help us on our path to balance. We need to look inside ourselves when we contemplate water. Are we ready to find the inner flow of feelings that will help us to find our way, to be our authentic self in our community? Or will we let our storms rage and wash away the shoreline? Water is here to offer us a path to balance through its ebbs and its flows, but reminds us that all elements are part of finding balance, and invites you to incorporate them all into your world as we honor the spring equinox this Sunday.
Thank you, Diane, for joining us and bringing the gifts of water to us today as we look to find balance in the spring equinox. You have now met all four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And they have shared with you the strengths that they can bring in a quest for balance, and warned us that they cannot act alone, that we need all four on the path. Earth with its calm strength and grounding, air with its creativity and inspiration, fire with its warmth and transformation, and water with its free flow of emotions and self-realization. I invite everyone in attendance to pause for a moment and to contemplate the words that have been spoken to us by the elements. Do you rely too much on one over the other? In our quest for balance at the equinox, is there an element that you may need to seek out to learn more about yourself to achieve the balance that you seek? In many practices, we do this with meditation or an act honoring the elements. For an example, when I need more air in my life, I keep a feather on my home altar where I can see it and contemplate its role in my life and the way that I can welcome that inspiration. Or if I need to temper the fire in my life, I light a candle in the early dawn and remind myself that it's the warmth that I seek, not aggression. There are many ways to practice, and within all of the members of the CUUPS group, we all find our own path and our own ways forward. I invite you all to join us anytime. You do not have to be a pagan to join us. We welcome everyone to walk their path in their way as we move through the world as a community of Unitarian Universalists that strive in all our ways to find balance in ourselves, our community, and our world. And we thank you so much for being here this Sunday and joining us in putting a little bit of a CUUPS spin on your Sunday morning. Thank you all.
Our closing hymn today is number 1068 in the teal hymnal, Rising Green. Diane and Alexis will play it through once first, and then we will join. Please join me in body or spirit singing after they complete the first verse, or the first playing of it.
Our closing words are modified from Kate McPhee, light is returning. A gnarled tree in sunlight. Around us, light is returning. It rekindles the spirit of life in the skeletons of trees. It brings forth new shoots from the soil. It wakes us from our winter slumber and invites us to see what lies beyond. In the spirit of our Earth's awakening, we reaffirm our commitment to the value of our home.
We now extinguish this flame. But not the light of hope and faith and truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry forth in our hearts until we are together again.